Why does your hamster keep stuffing its cheeks even when its tiny face already looks completely full? It may look greedy, but this hurried behavior is really a survival habit, not simple overeating. Your hamster is not eating first, it is transporting food as quickly as its body allows. Those cheek pouches work like expandable bags, built to carry food without stopping to chew. They stretch surprisingly far back, letting a tiny animal move a surprisingly large load. Wild hamsters evolved where food could appear suddenly, then disappear before the next safe chance. So their brains learned one powerful rule: when food appears, collect first and decide later. Out in the open, a hamster feels small, exposed, and much safer spending as little time there. Instead of nibbling beside the bowl, it grabs food fast and rushes back toward shelter. The real goal is simple: move calories from exposed space into a protected place. For a hamster, the safest dining room has always been a hidden chamber, not open ground. So full cheeks do not mean I am done, they often mean I am still moving it. Even in a peaceful home, your hamster still carries that ancient survival program inside. A full bowl and a loving owner cannot erase instincts shaped over countless generations. Deep inside, the body still whispers that later may not always feel as certain. Hamsters are prey animals first, so feeling safe often matters more than feeling full. Eating in the open can feel risky, but carrying food away feels much safer. Stuffing the cheeks reduces exposure time, and that helps the hamster feel calmer. That is why the behavior often looks rushed, almost like it is beating an invisible clock. In a way, it is racing an old survival expectation that safety can disappear quickly. Even tame hamsters still repeat this pattern because instinct stays strong inside comfort. A relaxed hamster may move more calmly, but the collecting blueprint still remains active. There is another reason too. Food feels safer when the hamster places it itself. A stash inside the nest is not just food, it feels private, controlled, and dependable. That sense of control matters deeply to a small animal built to expect uncertainty. Many hamsters do not keep one stash. They create several small storage spots. Instead, one area may hold seeds, another favorite treats, and another a quiet backup supply. This sorting may look strange to us, but to the hamster, that it makes perfect sense. Richer, tastier foods are often moved first because valuable calories feel worth protecting. Dry foods are especially easy to store, so they are packed into the cheeks again and again. Softer foods are usually handled sooner before moisture makes them less suitable for storage. That is why a hamster can look surprisingly organized while doing something that seems frantic. To you, the cheeks already look full, but the hamster may still feel unfinished. That happens because gathering food and eating food are related, but not exactly the same behavior. A full mouth does not always tell the foraging brain that the job is done. Instead, the brain keeps asking one question: is there still useful food available right now? If the answer is yes, many hamsters keep carrying until the opportunity feels over. And in nature, a brief food source must be used quickly before conditions change. A patch of seeds can be lost to weather, disturbance, or simple bad timing. The hamster that stores efficiently has a better chance when leaner days arrive later. Your pet still inherits that urgency, even when tomorrow's meal is already guaranteed. That is why well-fed hamsters can still hoard with surprising seriousness and focus. It is not criticism of your care, it is deep biological memory at work. Many hamsters feel even safer foraging when evening comes and the light grows softer. As night approaches, they often become more active, more focused, and more driven together. So when fresh food appears then, cheek stuffing may begin almost immediately. A big visible pile can intensify the urge because abundance itself becomes a powerful trigger. If the hamster reads that plenty as something to secure before conditions might change, that is why a newly filled bowl can spark a sudden burst of hauling. Scatter feeding can soften the rush because the hamster must search instead of loading quickly. Even then, the urge to store does not vanish, it simply unfolds through foraging. Healthy, active hamsters are often especially enthusiastic because their bodies are built for collection. Subtle changes in light or temperature can also strengthen storage behavior, even indoors. And whenever the environment changes, the desire to rebuild safety usually grows stronger. After a cage cleaning, many hamsters quickly begin restocking their hidden pantry. They are not overreacting, they are trying to repair a broken sense of order. Their scent map changed, their pantry was exposed, and the space suddenly feels unfamiliar. Rebuilding a stash helps restore confidence, predictability, and control inside the habitat. That is why the cheeks may fill again right after everything looked settled. To a hamster, food near the nest always feels more dependable than food left outside. A nearby reserve means fewer exposed trips later, especially during short waking periods. In the wild, burrows often had separate sleeping and storage areas for that reason. Modern cages replace soil walls, but they do not erase the old blueprint. The habitat may be domestic, yet the hamster is still solving an ancestral problem. Cheek pouches make that solution efficient by turning each outing into a bigger transfer. Carrying one seed at a time would waste energy and increase risk. Carrying many seeds at once makes each trip safer and more worthwhile. The pouches also keep the food tucked away, while the hamster moves quickly home. Hidden food always feels safer than visible food, even for a mostly solitary animal. Leaving alone does not remove the instinct to guard resources for the future. That is why hoarding can look oddly secretive, personal, and serious in a pet hamster. The stash becomes a quiet promise that tomorrow will not begin empty. Repeating the same carrying route can also feel calming, not just practical. Each successful trip proves that food exists, can be moved, and can be protected. For such a small animal, that repeated success helps reduce tension. So this behavior is about calories, but it is also about reassurance. After the hauling ends, you can often notice a clear little ritual begin. In a safer corner, the hamster starts unloading the cheek pouches with its paws. Then it sniffs, turns, sorts, and arranges each piece with surprising care. That careful handling reveals the cheeks were mainly used for transport, not instant eating. Some foods are placed close to the nest entrance for quick access later. Others are pushed deeper under bedding, where they become a longer-term reserve. Favorite treats are often kept separate from everyday foods. Fresh pieces are usually checked sooner because moisture makes them harder to store safely. Dry seeds and pellets can wait longer, so they are hidden more confidently. That is why a bowl can look empty while your hamster still seems well supplied. The food was not always eaten, much of it was simply moved somewhere else. Still, normal hoarding has limits and owners should know when something looks different. Healthy cheek loading ends with both pouches being emptied completely and comfortably. After unloading, the face should return to its usual balanced, rounded shape. If one cheek stays enlarged for a long time, that deserves closer attention. Warning signs include drooling, pawing at the mouth, bad odor, or trouble emptying the pouch. One-sided swelling can mean impacted food, injury, or infection rather than normal storage. At that point, the behavior is no longer ordinary hoarding, but repeated collecting with smooth unloading is usually exactly what a hamster should do. The best response is not to stop the instinct, but to make it safe. Offer sensible daily portions instead of endless rich treats that upset natural balance. And a good dry staple mix is easier for hamsters to store without spoiling quickly. Give fresh foods in smaller amounts, then remove leftovers before they become unsafe. It also helps to check hidden hoards gently, especially after moist foods were offered. At the same time, avoid removing every single stash each day. Sudden total removal can make some hamsters feel that security keeps disappearing. A better method is gradual refreshment. Remove old food but leave some safe reserve. That way, the hamster keeps its sense of ownership without sitting on spoiled food. Enrichment helps too, because foraging turns this instinct into healthy daily activity. Scatter feeding, paper folds, tubes, and simple puzzle spots make gathering feel more natural. The goal is not to stop hoarding, but to support safe, species-appropriate hoarding. So when your hamster stuffs its cheeks, it is not being silly or selfish. It is following a beautifully efficient plan written by evolution, and when it goes back for more, that does not mean the first trip failed. It means food is still available, and the inner calculator says to keep securing it. Every extra trip is answering an old question about uncertainty and survival. Will there still be enough later, when the world feels darker, colder, or less predictable? To us, that question may seem unnecessary inside a calm living room, but inside a hamster's nervous system, it still feels wise and reasonable. So those bulging cheeks are not just a funny pet moment, they are a real survival tool doing exactly what they were designed to do. They help a tiny animal transport, sort, and plan more effectively. They move food from exposed space into a place the hamster can control, and controlled space is where a hamster finally feels able to relax. Once the pantry feels right, many hamsters slow down, groom, and settle more peacefully. That is the quiet emotional reward hidden beneath all the rushing. Hoarding is how a hamster builds tomorrow's comfort from today's brief opportunity. So when that stuffed little face turns back for one more load, you're really watching a tiny animal create safety, one cheekful at a time.